Need a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion approved by Councilman Mizell, second by Councilman Payne. Any other discussion on the minutes? All in favor? 68 no nays. On the CRA business, we're still working on sign. If you haven't had an opportunity to go out like that, looks very good at night. It's pretty well lit up at night. And we've got to remove a couple of trees, blocks from the start approach from the city out. And we'll probably get pretty close to some, might have to have a special call, CRA meeting, and some business once we get some more facts. And I'll turn it, look everything over, and she'll bring it back to the council at a later date. We're working trying to get power to DCI. I had a little bit of trouble up there on power crews, probably on the road working now, so it's kind of a hold up getting them power. They do have two of their structures up, and working on the conveyor belts next, but they're going pretty well. Next, resolution 2012-13 authorize contract for demolition and clearance design and inspection service for CDBG project number LR-CE-PDF-11-009.
Make a motion for immediate consideration.
A motion for immediate consideration by Councilman Mizell, second by Councilman Lester. Any more discussion on the motion? Councilman Mizell.
Yes.
Councilman Payne.
Yes.
Councilman Lester.
Yes.
Councilman Reynolds.
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Yes. The surplus unneeded municipal property, primarily the Dare cars, is one we got on the list today. Better known as the Dare cars, AAA.
For immediate consideration.
Motion to immediate consideration by Councilman Mizell. Second by Councilman Reynolds. Any discussion on the motion? Councilman Lester.
Yes.
Councilman Reynolds.
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Councilman Mizell.
Yes.
Councilman Payne.
Yes.
Make a motion for adoption.
Got a motion for adoption, 68 no. Motion for adoption by Councilman Mizell. Second by Councilman Payne. Any discussion on the motion to adopt? Councilman Reynolds.
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Councilman Mizell.
Yes.
Councilman Payne.
Yes.
Councilman Lester.
Yes.
68 no nays. Next item, resolution 2012-15 to surplus unneeded property. A 2002 Goshen 10 pasture van and 2005 Goshen 15 pasture van. We've had a lot of inquiry on these two vans from various different churches.
And these are vans.
Transportation.
Model vans. On one of them.
Make a motion for immediate consideration.
Motion for immediate consideration by Councilman Mizell. Second by Councilman Lester. Discussion on the motion.
Drop the E in that surplus there. See it?
That's a surplusy.
That's a plus. Boss says let go. Had a motion to second, didn't I?
Yes. Yes.
Immediate consideration.
I did it, okay.
Roll
Councilman
call.
Reynolds. Councilman Reynolds.
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Councilman Mizell.
Yes.
Councilman Payne.
Yes.
Councilman Lester.
Yes.
68 no nays, and I'm saying everything motion for adoption.
So moved.
Got a motion for Councilman Mizell for adoption. Second by Councilman Lester. Any discussion on the motion? Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Councilman Mizell.
Yes.
Councilman Payne.
Yes.
Councilman Lester.
Yes.
Councilman Reynolds.
Yes.
Yes, 68 no nays. Approval for repairs to upstairs restroom caused by the upstairs toilet leak, floor rotted, and leaking through the wrong bathroom. And this did not have anything to do with the storm damage. This is quite some time ago, through the years. You got, I think, the estimate on it,
Yeah, back here.
$1,600.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think this was.
To replace the floor and cover it, $1,600 is, I think, be a fair price myself. The plywood's real high, and the labor, it ain't free no more.
And see, he's giving us this price because he's there. He's got his crews there.
Do you know
His
how
flooring man's there.
Yeah, that's why I say everybody.
Everybody's there.
far out is he coming with the floor? Is he gonna match that, it's in there, or, you know, it goes out in the hall just a little bit?
No, that'll all be done in a linoleum. It's a thick linoleum. We're gonna put down a different kind. We're gonna put that tile linoleum stuff in
It's
there.
got not fiberglass, but asbestos in the old stuff, I don't know
I
about
don't
that.
know that that's got any asbestos in it, but it's just tile and it's rotten. I mean, it just breaks.
Yeah, we went up there and looked at it.
It's that old
It's still a
rubber.
knife down in the
Yeah,
woods.
yeah.
Is it gonna use,
I thought it was a good price.
use treated, plywood?
I would think so.
I'm sure you
I'll
put it down
ask
there with water and should.
It should, that's what I was thinking, it should.
Yeah, I just think she'll send it.
Need to specify that.
I'll make the motion,
I will.
get that done.
Got a motion to do the repairs by Council Webber, second by Council Mizell. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor? 6 yeas, no nays. Next item is air conditioning fire station maintenance building. It says for 3-ton air conditioning, 3757, to replace the evaporator coil for 920, replace the pan for 390. I don't know if that means all three's got to be replaced, or if you can replace one, solve the problem, or what.
We talked to him because the condensing unit's in bad shape, the fan's out there. Now, what I get from this evaporator coil must have a leak in the coil upstairs there. Now, the auxiliary pan, I don't know, usually when those coils are together, they're all in a pan that comes with a pipe coming out and go for the drain, condenser drain out of it.
The way the quote read to me, if I can interrupt just a second, is to do the whole unit is the top price,
Okay.
okay? If you just want to repair it and replace that leaking evaporator coil and auxiliary pan, it's $920. If you want to just replace the auxiliary pan only, it's $391. But installation of a complete unit
37.
How
is
old is that unit?
$37.57.
How old is that unit again, the old one there?
Well, the outside, it looks like with rocks and the lawnmower and stuff, it's in bad shape.
We're probably the old in unit. then, wouldn't
Yeah, it's a ring, it's an old unit out there.
Let's get some quotes on it then.
All right.
Get additional quotes.
Yeah, let's try to get all local merchants to give us a quote on it.
This is from Sleeping Giant,
Yeah, that's
so
about
we
two
probably need to let
more
the others.
Sleeping Giant, and this is from Sleeping Giant, I'm sure.
We got scales and
Skelton and,
crap.
little junior, or junior.
Okay, entertain a motion to get some quotes on air conditioning.
So moved.
Motion by Council Payne, second by Council Lester. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor? 6 yeas, no nays.
Let me put one thing there, we need to do that as quick as possible. If they're hot up there, now, I don't know where they are, if they got gas in it, gassed up, well, it's still running pretty cool over there today, but I don't know about upstairs. It's cool, like I say, quick to get us a quote.
I think we need to contact Sleeping Giant also, because if you're gonna give quotes, they may want to
Yeah, they may.
revamp their.
Exactly, because they've already put out what they're bidding.
We're going to put some seal quotes in.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Well, we're approved to take the best price, and that way we can put them in, and you know, we can give them till like next Wednesday. They probably can figure that, we'll take the best quote and go ahead and approve to do it.
Make a motion to approve to do it on sealed bids,
I'll
whichever
second.
one's the lowest.
Okay.
And let's don't wait too long in case.
Can I get you to retract your first motion, please?
Withdraw your first motion, please.
Withdraw your first
What was
motion
it?
To
Three?
give quotes.
to get additional quotes.
Okay, I'll withdraw that, but,
And
Go
then
ahead.
restate it, okay?
yeah.
Let's see, the days.
Third.
They probably
Next
gassed it up,
Wednesday,
they
yeah.
probably last.
We can get quotes by next Monday, I believe that'll take a month to get them.
Okay.
We'll take the other quotes up next Monday at 2 o'clock. Did we vote on that?
No, we hadn't.
Any
Jimmy
discussion?
Payne made the motion.
Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Mizell. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? 6 yeas, no nays. We got it straight. Travel training, Police Department Chief Burnett, Annual Chief Conference at Toledo Beach, July 29 through August 2nd, registration, mileage, lodging, and per diem.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion approved by Councilman Mizell, second by Councilman Payne. Any other discussion on the motion? This is mandatory for our chief. All in favor of the motion? Got 6 yeas, no nays. Next item, approve the invoices, no questions.
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion approved by Councilman Payne, second by Councilman Lester. All in favor of the motion? 6 yeas, no nays. Entertain a motion to adjourn the reconvene for town hall meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Mizell, second by Councilman Lester. All in favor of the motion? Got 6 yeas, no nays. Anyone like to address the council?
I just want to say something. Work a little, Childersburg Historical Preservation Commission. We are in the process of putting out our,
Stand up for you, please. I'm hard.
we are in the process of putting together our cookbook for the Come Over Gristmill. And we're accepting recipes. And I have some recipe cards here to be filled out. And we would like council members to submit a recipe. I know BJ's a great cook, so I surely expect to get one from the mayor. And we're asking the fire department and the police department also to submit resumes. We would like these to go to all area churches. So if anybody can help me get these to some of the churches, please let me know. You can turn in your filled recipes at City Hall, and I'll pick them up from Ada. We need these as soon as possible. The 1st of August would be, give us a good time to be able then to get all this information entered. So we want to get our cookbook back and ready to sell for the Christmas season and then the tourist season next year. Appreciate your help. Thank you.
Did anyone in the council or the mayor's office approve the design changes on the museum? There was a design change made on the museum when the roof was repaired, and I've been in touch with Martha and been in touch with several of the board members, and nobody has had any notice of a design change on the museum when the roof was repaired. We're under the Alabama Historical Society, and it's literally going to be up in the air as to whether or not we lose our certification because of from my work on the gristmill and the museum, if you make design changes in the building that are not pre-approved through the Alabama Historical Preservation Committee, you will lose your certification.
Task force approved that.
We approved, as far as I know, the task force, and everyone that I've talked to, which the president of the task force is out of touch right now, but they approved the repairs to the building. They did not actually approve the design change to the building. And that's what I mean.
Where was
What
the design
kind of
change?
design change was it?
I'm not following.
When they repaired the roof had an eave that basically come down over the porch. And when the repairs were made, instead of leaving the eave on the design as it was, there was a design change made. It was simply boxed in. The whole thing was boxed in on that end of the building. And we have to, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because we have to be very careful when we make changes to historical buildings, because even something that simple, if we don't call Montgomery, and me and Martha's went through, with the gristmill, it's been one thing after another. Even small design changes on the building without prior approval from that group down there loses the historical certification of the building. If they don't like it. Now,
I don't think there was any significant change made other than that being closed in to keep the birds out of there and the water from going in there.
You couldn't get
It
up on my
may have been that way originally. When that roof was put back on there like that, I think the contractor designed it that way, thinking the water would run off onto that porch roof, but it didn't work.
Well, that's the reason I'm asking.
I don't think architecturally it was designed.
Well, it is a Victorian, my understanding it is a Victorian style home, and those particular features are part of a Victorian style home. And like I said, I don't know
That overhang, I don't think.
if we go back to the Alabama Historical Society if they will, I just wanted to make the council aware, so in case in the future, especially with the grist mill and the museum and our historic buildings in this town, if they are designated with that historic thing, which we had a meeting with the historic people from Montgomery, and any changes are made, once that certification is given, without their approval, they can jerk that certification away. So it was just my concern that the changes were made, and to my knowledge, like I said, I've talked to several people on our boards, and nobody seems to know where the approval for the changes were made. So I wanted to bring that to the
The
council.
task force made a recommendation, a number of recommendations that we put out for specs then. And that was one of them, to be able to fix the porches underneath the hangover. You couldn't get under and fix it, you couldn't put shingles under it. And that's what caused rotting. And that was a late addition to that house anyway, to move the porch. The stairs were on the porch at one time, on the house, and moved them onto the porch. And that's when they put the little, I call it dog house, it's a header. When you go up the stairs, you couldn't get your head up.
Well, I don't know the exact date, but I would presume when the building was actually made into the museum was when we got that historical seal, so to speak, from the state of Alabama.
No, Mayor Handy got that after the preservation started,
So
after it was done.
like I said, I wanted to bring it to the council's attention because it could potentially
It's on the
cause
register,
problems
yes.
with the state of Alabama.
Yeah. And she did that work getting it put on.
So it was approved as was, with the addition under the stairs and the whole. It was not approved with the design change that was made up there currently.
Well, I don't know that there was even a design change. I'm not following you on design. The house looks the same. There's no design change. It was just closed in around there to keep the water from rotting the porch. I don't know any other way to fix it.
Well,
And that was what it was.
I follow you there on that, but the thing about it is, from what we've learned dealing with these people from the state of Alabama, they are very peculiar about every change that you make.
They were not peculiar about putting the type porch we put on there and not going with wood. They were very, I don't even know what that stuff's called, but it's not real wood. But they had no problem with that whatsoever. And I think preventing the house from rotting.
Approval. We got prior approval, that's the only difference here. You're supposed to get approval before you make a change.
Who got that prior approval?
I don't
Okay, then why didn't the commission get that approval before they?
There was no, that's what I'm telling you. Everybody that I talked to, this is after the fact, said that there was no prior approval from the Historic Preservation Committee to make the change in the building. And I understand we're just closing in an E, but like I said, from my dealings with the state and those people down there, they may not approve that. They may come back and say that's going to have to be redone and put back the way it is.
People on the commission actually went up there with the contractor, so they would have known about it. Because the contractor told them what he was going to do. So they would have known about it. On the task force, people on, there were people
I
on
was
the,
told outside of City Hall, I made a comment about, I don't think it needs shingles, I think it needs cutting into the chimney. We had inspected, anybody was up there, we put the tops on the chimney and inspected, and they said, well, you need to get a contractor to work up there. And they wanted Circle H to do the contract work, and he gave a proposal back to us, and we're ready to pay it. But preservation also preserved, and you
and
couldn't
that
preserve
proposal
that
went
whole
to the
porch.
task force.
There's no way to get in there and fix that. Your ceiling kept rotting out because water was getting up under there. You couldn't put shingles on there. You didn't have room to put a hammer in there either.
Well, and like I said, they may not say nothing about this. It's just I wanted to bring it to the council's attention in case this were to ever come up again, that we could be better to be safe than sorry. We could have picked up the phone and made a phone call to Montgomery and said, here's what we want to
We
do.
went wrong because we did what we was told to do.
Well, like I said, everybody that I've talked to says there was no design changes in the building approved. So I'm
Did
just
you
going
talk to everyone on the task force?
The only one that I have not been able to contact has been Teresa, and that's because she is out of town this week.
Okay,
So,
all right. Thursday, I'll go up there and take a picture, send it to them, see what Ms. Brown says, okay?
that'll be fine.
How about that?
That'll work.
Better safe than sorry? Is that what you said?
Better safe than sorry.
I
I mean, if we'd have had approval for it, I would have felt better if we'd have had approval for them, since it and like I said, they are kind of ticky-tacky sometimes. Since it was a design change, it was boxing something in where there was an eave, if they would have said, okay, no problem. Because it's so easy, from what I understand, to lose that. Once you lose that certification, you know, it's a very big deal.
And I'd just like to add, each state mirrors what the National Preservation Society says, and they are very strict about any changes without their approval. You will get your certification in, and that gets you on the tourist roster for people coming to see. I work with them with cemeteries, and they're very strict about the kind of fence you can have, where it can be, all of that. So while I'm not familiar with what they're talking about, I do know how strict the National Preservation Society is, and they don't let you make changes unless they approve it first, because they're trying to keep the historic architectural design.
Well, we were told that they had to make a change to be able to repair the lower roof underneath because it came down like this.
I understand what you're
And
saying.
it kept it right now. We'll go back, put it back up there. But then you're going to have to replace your roof about every 4 or 5 years. Got to take it down and replace the
Well,
roof.
like I said,
Because it's
BJ,
trapping water in there.
it may simply be, she may approve the changes, but in the future, when it comes to those buildings, if you know, if we could before we, and I know everybody wants to get things done, and I don't blame anybody for that. I'm just saying that if we would have called them first and they would have said yes, no problem, then we've got our, you know, she said it's fine, let's go on, but we have to call her and deal with her on anything that we change on the grist mill. I mean, they've even come back to us, we were talking about using steel beams under the grist mill to shore the grist mill up, and she came back and said, well, why aren't you using wood? Well, it's cost ineffective and it's, you know, but she still had those concerns. She's thrown everything back at us that we've had conversations with us because she wants to keep it as historically pristine as possible. That's their whole, they want to keep it just like it was.
Can I ask, don't you think that would have been something that the Historic Preservation Commission should have done? And you're telling me they didn't know in order to do it? Is that what you're telling us?
I'm telling you that nobody, as far as I know that I have talked to, has said that they were informed that that was going to be done. They were all under the assumption that it was going to be fixed back like it was, and now it's been boxed in.
Okay.
So that's what I'm hearing from the
Okay.
membership that I
Okay,
have.
now I'm understanding.
You think we can find that work order he gave us?
Yeah. I've got all the
That was
payment
given to
schedules.
us by
Yeah,
You know,
and I've got
Okay, Teresa,
everything that
thank
the task force gave me.
that's
And
fine.
said, well, and then I think Diane even emailed me some things.
Well, I was at when the bid, the first bid that we got, or one of the only bids we got, I was at the task force meeting for the museum, and then it was broken down into
Yeah.
several other projects because it was way too expensive, everybody thought, for what
Right.
wanted to be done, and then there's, you know, we went back and looked at other things, but it's like I said, it's a pretty, that historical certification is a pretty big deal.
anyone else? Mike, you'd like to address the council? Mike is,
Yeah,
bought the city limits building, features, whatever.
well,
Yeah.
these are some menus, and I'm sorry they're a little dirty. I dropped them. Clumsy me. But, this is just some things we're gonna try to bring to Childersburg. Courtyard oyster bar and grill. We have, all different kind of things. We'll do a meet and greet during the afternoon, and then, after that, we'll, you know, have oysters and, you know, all the other good stuff. He's getting excited over there, I see. But, you know, we just, and something I need to ask the council is, hey, should we be able to figure out if, we're in the limits for y'all to, I mean, that's kind of something that's been brought to my attention a couple different times, to whether we're even supposed to come to y'all for approval due to the fact that it's the way it's zoned right there.
It's in,
It's not incorporated. It's in the police jurisdiction. You will be required to buy a license.
it's a half license, half
And it's
cent.
1/2. Of course, alcohol is not, we don't do half here or half on those. They're not regulated at all. But, all your taxes and everything would be with the business license.
Okay, as far as the alcohol and the liquor or the liquor taxes and things, you're saying it's not gonna be, it's not, why wouldn't it be half as well?
It would be,
Oh, I thought you,
not the license itself. I don't think it's prorated.
I mean,
But I can check,
okay, I just,
I mean, we wouldn't charge you anything that you shouldn't have to pay.
you know, I didn't say it would. But, you know, I mean, it's just a few things. We're gonna change some of the prices on it. That's the menu that came from our south side location. And, you know, we've got 3 other locations, south side, the one on 280, this is the original one. And then we have one down in Vandiver. And, you know, just good old country boys trying to make a living, you know, so. hope
See,
everybody-
we do observe a police jurisdiction. A lot of cities don't. They just go within their corporate limits. But we do go into our police jurisdiction because we provide services outside of our corporate limits.
Right.
And we have, if we charge you 1/2 or any taxes, license, or any of those, we have to provide you with that same dollar amount of services, which we do.
Okay.
Provide you with more dollars than you pay us.
I was just curious, because the ABC board asked me, Agent McGee asked me the other day, I mean, are they even supposed to go? And I'm like, as far as I know, they
Yeah.
are. So, there we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I did, stop at the 280 courtyard last week, and I got to get that best order I had in a long time.
Glad to hear you say that. Hopefully everybody else can enjoy the same soon.
Anyone else? Call the meeting back to order. If no other business for the council, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Council Payne, second by Council Lester. All in favor? 6 days, no nays. Y'all excuse my deep bass voice tonight.